And my goodness, what a week it has been for Prince Harry. This controversy over the Pat Tillman Award just gets worse by the day. And now lots of folk are asking if he should actually hand it back, especially after senior military figures got involved. Angela Levin, so great to have you here, our regular royal mastermind. And Angela, wow, this has kicked off this week with Prince Harry and Pat Tillman. Do you think, because you're his biographer, I should remind people, you're his biographer, you spent all of this time with him, do you think he should accept this award, or should he turn it down now that you've got Pat Tillman's mother, now that you've got senior military figures saying you absolutely can't?
Yes, I think he has to do that. I think this is so important that if he doesn't, he will be plunging down even further than he is. What I find particularly interesting is that before we have thought that it's Harry's fault, that he wants to gather all these things because it gives him a boost, and Meghan loves them and he can put them on the shelf and all that. But when Admiral Lord West speaks, he thinks that he's allowing himself to be used by all sorts of people who want to just hang on to the fact that he's a prince, and it will give them more publicity. So it's quite an interesting view of that. And I think that one is, you put the two together and it is a bomb, isn't it? I mean, it's just ridiculous. He can't do it. He mustn't do it. He will actually wipe himself out. And he's not very popular at the moment. There's a piece on the papers about America who actually don't like him anymore, don't want him around. And Meghan loses friends a lot very quickly, and they've not been interested in her African Riviera orchard jam. And it's very, very difficult for them.
Scam jam, I call it, Angela. Scam jam.
For years, Prince Harry's story has been defined by one of the most dramatic departures in modern royal history. He left royal life. He moved thousands of miles away. He built a new future in California alongside Meghan Markle. And yet, despite everything that has happened, one question refuses to disappear. What is Prince Harry's relationship with Britain today? Now, royal commentator and biographer Angela Levin has made a claim that is fueling fresh speculation. She says Harry appears to be trying to get back to London. But according to Levin, nobody really knows why. The comments have immediately sparked debate among royal watchers. Is Harry missing his old life? Is he seeking reconciliation with family members? Or is there a completely different reason behind these reports? Today we're breaking down the full story, the context behind Levin's remarks, and why this latest discussion has captured so much attention.
I mean, do you know what? I found it fascinating because even The Guardian now, the left-wing Guardian who used to adore Harry and Meghan, are writing critical columns describing them as being in their flop era. So it certainly does feel like America has turned.
Yes, I think that's right. And I think because they live really in an isolated way, they're not really going out and seeing what the world is like. They don't realize how things change. I mean, Harry as well was so popular. He was the most popular royal for many years, and people didn't mind his mischievousness, what they called it that, and they cared about him. I thought he was terrific when I was interviewing him for the biography, and he was very good with people who had problems and a kind, rather like his mother. And but now they've had enough of it. They don't like the lies. They don't like washing dirty linen in public, and especially not the royal linen. And they've got to make a huge change if they want to stay in anybody's sort of line of liking.
I mean, the thing is, Angela, if he is a decent human being, he will not accept the ESPY award. Because surely just out of respect for Pat Tillman's mother. I mean, come on, Pat Tillman was an absolutely accomplished American footballer who quit his career in order to fight for the US after 9/11 in Afghanistan. He was killed in a friendly fire incident. His mum says, no, I don't want Prince Harry to take the award. He is too divisive a figure. At that point, if Harry was a decent human being, he says, look, I've heard what Pat Tillman's mother has said. I respect her. She lost her son. He should just say no.
Yes, of course. Now, the thing is, both he and Meghan took a lot about humanitarianism and that you should love people. I mean, I've always laughed at that because they've been so nasty that they're saying this is what people should do and they're not doing it themselves. But he must know about family. He's talking about his mother, he's talking about family, he's trying to get back to London. We don't know why exactly. And he can't actually pretend that this is not important. I mean, this mother has lost her child. He understands when someone who you really love dies and what it can do to you. And he can't ignore that because he, if anyone, can hear and see and think about what it is when you've lost a loved one. And he can't ignore it. That's what I think anyway.
The problem is, Angela, it now feels like he almost uses his military service for good publicity, but he doesn't care about lots of the principles of the military. For example, in Spare, do you remember he infuriated his former colleagues because he spoke about how many people he had killed, which was considered incredibly tasteless. And now these comments from Lord West are just completely damning, I think, because he's obviously very, very respected. And he said, I really think Harry should be well advised to sit back and not accept awards like this. It doesn't travel well with people in the military. Yes. And when the mother of the man who died doesn't want him to get this award, he should think about that. My advice to him is to sit back and not accept any awards at the moment. They are going his way because he has such a high profile and people want to take advantage of that. And I say,
yeah, that's exactly it.
Let's get into it. The video begins by focusing on Angela Levin's comments. And right away, the creator introduces an element that immediately captures attention. Mystery. Because Levin isn't simply saying Harry wants to spend time in London. She goes a step further.
She says we don't know why.
And that uncertainty becomes the driving force behind the entire discussion. The creator presents the situation almost like a puzzle. If Harry really is trying to establish a stronger connection to London again, what exactly is motivating him? And the moment that question is asked, viewers naturally begin filling in the blanks themselves. That's one of the reasons stories like this generate so much engagement. People are fascinated by unanswered questions. The video then shifts back in time. We see Prince Harry during the years when London was not just his home, but the center of his entire life. For decades, Harry's identity was closely tied to Britain and the royal family. And the creator uses these images to remind viewers just how significant that connection once was. This isn't just about geography. This is about history. It's about memories. It's about relationships. And it's about a life that shaped who Harry became. The video subtly encourages viewers to wonder whether those connections are still pulling him back. As the story progresses, attention turns toward Harry's life in the United States. We're shown footage of Harry and Meghan building their post-royal future, the Netflix documentary, public appearances, business ventures, charitable projects. The creator acknowledges that Harry has created an entirely new chapter of his life. But at the same time, the video suggests that leaving Britain doesn't necessarily mean leaving it behind emotionally. And that's where the discussion becomes interesting. Because even people who choose a completely different life often remain connected to their roots. The creator uses this idea to strengthen the possibility that Harry may still feel a strong attachment to London.
You know, that is a terrifying sentence. But I must say about the Invictus Games, that's one of the reasons they're giving it to him. It's not the only reason, but the one reason I think is the weakest of them all, because I get a lot of emails from people who are in the take part in the Invictus Games and say Harry has ruined it because it's now Meghan's games, because she wants to give the speeches, she wants to march in, well, it's a sort of a march, it looks more like a Dior march, but she does a march with people who have been wounded before, and they have to walk behind her, which is very humiliating for them and ridiculous. And they don't want him anymore. They also, Harry and Meghan, make a lot of charges of what they want: rooms decorated, special blankets, and all sorts of things. And they don't really want them to do that. So they keep saying, well, he should go to me. Can I get rid of him? I can't do anything. It's nothing to do with me, and I don't even try at any level. But if he does care for the Invictus Games as well, he could hand it over to them totally. It's not very far from what he's doing. He can't keep it for himself. And if he doesn't want to do that, he's in very big trouble. But of course, Harry can't see that now. He has different eyes, different thoughts, and he doesn't see the world in the same way that he used to.
Angela, it was our question of the day, actually, whether Prince Harry should accept this award or hand it back. We've had some brilliant comments in that I want to share from you. Sarah Pert writes, royals give awards. They don't receive them. He has already accepted an award for his contribution to aviation. This despite not even being qualified to fly a helicopter alone. He is allowed to be a co-pilot. The optics of him receiving that award from a man who has a pilot's license, not to mention an accomplished actor, dancer and singer. I think that was John Travolta, wasn't it? Paul Bergkamp, says absolutely no. Harry, is not an American by birth and therefore doesn't deserve to receive such a prestigious Medal of Distinguished Honor. Those who decided to give him this medal need to rethink their decision. And Janak says Harry is using the Invictus Games for his own PR. Is he and his wife claiming expenses? If so, how much? He should be donating money and not take them. He should promote the Invictus Games and not himself. And Amelia writes, no awards for princes. Princes are wealthy, titled and privileged. Organising the Invictus Games is something a truly honourable and noble prince would do for no awards, no prizes, no accolades. They would consider it their duty to their people discharged and take satisfaction only in knowing they have helped people less fortunate than themselves. Only an ignoble prince would accept an award for doing good towards the people. And I couldn't agree more, Amelia. And the thing is, Harry had an opportunity to turn this award down. The ESPYs wouldn't have given it to him if he hadn't have said that he wanted it. Of course, they check these things. And you know what? We've already had over 5,000 votes within our our YouTube community on this. Does Prince Harry deserve the Pat Tillman Award? This is a whopping, overwhelming vote. 98% of those 5,000 votes saying no, just 2% saying yes. And do stand by. Oh, sorry, you go, Angela.
No, I'm not surprised at all, because people can feel how unfair it is of Harry to steal this. Absolutely. I mean, he doesn't steal it figuratively. He just steals it from the people who have really been wounded and care. And you have to understand that and give. That's the key, which 2 or 3 of them have said. This is the whole thing about our royal family. They give. They don't want to take. And Harry and Meghan have become just taking. And I think that's spoils them for people who don't like them anymore.
One of the key areas explored in the video involves Harry's ongoing legal disputes concerning security arrangements in Britain. These issues have generated headlines for years, and the creator presents them as a possible clue. If Harry wants to spend more time in the UK, questions about security naturally become important. But what's interesting is that the video never settles on one explanation. Instead, it presents several possibilities. Maybe it's about practical considerations. Maybe it's about family. Maybe it's about maintaining a connection to Britain. The uncertainty itself becomes part of the story. The conversation then shifts toward the royal family. And this is where the emotional dimension becomes much stronger. Because any discussion about Harry returning to London inevitably raises questions about family relationships. The creator carefully explores the possibility that a stronger connection to London could also mean a stronger connection to family. Now, the video doesn't provide evidence that reconciliation is happening, but it certainly encourages viewers to consider the possibility. And that's a powerful narrative because people remain deeply invested in the idea that the royal rift could one day heal. The public reaction highlighted in the video is exactly as divided as you might expect. Some viewers believe Harry genuinely misses Britain. They argue that London will always be part of who he is. They see any effort to spend more time there as completely understandable. Others are far more skeptical. They question whether practical considerations, legal matters, or public relations concerns are playing a larger role. And some critics remain unconvinced that meaningful reconciliation with the royal family is even possible. The result is a debate that reflects the broader divisions that have surrounded Harry for years. As the video approaches its conclusion, it becomes clear that this story is about more than one comment from Angela Levin. It touches on something much deeper: identity, belonging, family,
Home.
because no matter where Harry lives today, Britain remains a huge part of his story. The creator uses Levin's comments to explore the possibility that Harry may still be navigating the relationship between his past and his present. And that's a journey that many people can relate to. Leaving one chapter behind doesn't always mean completely letting it go. The video ultimately leaves viewers with more questions than answers. But perhaps that's exactly the point. Because the uncertainty surrounding Prince Harry's future relationship with Britain continues to be one of the most fascinating ongoing stories in the royal world. And until those questions are answered, speculation is likely to continue. But now I want to hear from you. Do you think Prince Harry genuinely wants to reconnect with London and his former life? Or do you believe there are other reasons behind the reports discussed in this video? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more royal family analysis, celebrity reactions, and in-depth commentary. Subscribe for more royal breakdowns. Bell.